Hello, good morning. It is Monday, January 5th. How pretty are they? Today is a Monday. It's back to work day, even though I'm a freelancer and I work for myself. And it's the start of a new marathon block. I am so excited. I'm actually so excited. I have a new outfit from Nike. I'm obsessed. I also ordered some new shoes, which haven't arrived yet. I'm about to go for my first run. I just did my new program on Runna. So I've got a full 16 weeks. I've got so much to tell you guys. I have got so many big exciting goals for this year and for this block, and yes, but for right now I'm gonna go on my first run, which I think is a tempo run. I need to find my watch and make sure my workout is synced to that, but general vibes are so good. I'm just so excited for a new year. I feel like last year was a big year of change, moving to the Gold Coast, settling in, buying this house, setting it all up. I've got slightly more of a desk set up. If you saw any of my previous vlogs, you know that I didn't have this desk. I had an outdoor table for a little while there. So yes, I have a really good feeling about this year. I think it's going to be a year where a lot of the seeds that I've been planting hopefully will come into fruition. So yes. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's go do a tempo run. Later now. I did my tempo session this morning. Bit of a mixed bag, I'm gonna say. I started off optimistic. I had 2x2k at a 4:10, but I feel like that's quite fast since I've had quite a few weeks off of speed work and proper scheduled training. So the first 2k, I think I went 4:11, 4:05. My heart rate was completely maxing out 185, and I rarely ever get my heart rate up that high. Then the second one, I died. I genuinely felt like I had never run in my whole entire life. I think I went 4:13 and then 4:22. Actually, looking back, that's not a terrible first session. So yes, I felt really optimistic and enthusiastic right at the start of the session, and by the end I was get me out of here, why did I sign up for this? But I think that's the brilliance of week one of training. You know it's only ever gonna go up from here. So that's day one, week one, done. Crazy. Before we get too much further into this video, I thought I would give you a little bit more context about my marathon history. So this will be my fourth marathon, which is crazy. My very first marathon I did back in 2022, I think, here on the Gold Coast actually. I thought I was going to be one and done. It really was a bucket list item for me to do the marathon distance, and I finished that race in 3 hours 55, and I said to myself, I'm never doing one of those again. I really enjoyed it, but I think the fact that I had no coach, no program, I was working a full-time job that was really stressing me out. It was just a lot. And yeah, so I finished that feeling really proud, but also just ready to never do that again. And of course, the running bug hit me, and 2 years later, I signed up for the Sydney Marathon. That marathon was honestly a mess. I had done a race 2 months prior and completely injured myself. I had the worst runner's knee. I missed my entire block, but I just kept holding out hope that I'd be able to at least stand on the start line. A week out from the race, my knee came good again, and I just said, all right, I'm just gonna start the race. I have no expectations on how fast I can run or even how far. I genuinely didn't know if I was gonna finish it. I had said to Hamish, my partner, before the race, okay, if I get to 10k and I can't finish, this is where we should meet. We had all of those emergency plans in place. Somehow I ended up finishing in a 3:29, so that really left me hungry to do the marathon again. The next marathon that I ran was Sydney 2025, so last year. I actually have a full vlog from that whole weekend. That was the highlight of my entire year, one of my favourite weekends of my whole life. I had wanted to do a full 16-week training block. 16 weeks out, I actually had a miscarriage, and so I was in hospital. I then spent 2 weeks on the couch, could not move, was in a lot of physical pain, and then kind of slowly eased my way back into normal life after that. And that was physically challenging and also emotionally challenging, I guess, as you can probably imagine. It meant that I ended up having a 12-week training block, and I was starting from obviously like quite a fragile place. But I was really proud of that training block. I really like put my whole heart and soul into it and really enjoyed all of the speed work. And I came out of that with a 3:12. And yeah, I was just like super proud, but I also knew that if I could do like a full 16-week block, that I had even more to give. So that's why I was so excited to like sign up for another marathon this year. I honestly really would like to train towards the like sub 3-hour marathon. I know that that's such a like, I don't know, buzzword goal at the moment, and like, is it a little bit of a stretch goal? Yes, I think so, but I also like, I'm just sick of holding myself back and not going after like the big goal that scares me. So that's kind of the mindset coming into this marathon block. Some of my other goals for this marathon block are to incorporate strength training. I've been quite enjoying getting back into the gym, and I'd like to be doing that like 2 to 3 times a week. I also really love swimming and cycling, and I don't want to give those up, but I also want to like go all in on the running training, at least just for these 16 weeks. So I'm going to be trying to balance all of those little things. I also really have a lot of big work goals this year, which in previous years I've had a little bit less work, and so that's going to be a fun thing to figure out how to balance. Some of the key things that I think I'm going to be focusing on that I can think about like day to day is getting enough sleep, figuring out my nutrition, and just making sure I'm fueling my body with all the right things that it needs, and drinking enough water, which is especially important here on the Gold Coast. We're doing summer training. I'm sweating a lot. I'm sweating just right now filming this, to be honest. So that's going to be something I'm really trying to track, and I want to check in with you guys and report back and see what's working, what's not working. We can adjust as we need. And lastly, I do just want this marathon block to be really fun. Like, running is genuinely the thing I love the most in the world at the moment. Like, running, swimming, writing, making videos, those are the things that bring me the most joy, and I don't want a marathon block to turn running into a chore. So that's my mindset. Day 1, week 1 of this marathon block. I'm so excited to bring you guys along. Finished up my 10k easy run. I did it at Run Club this morning. I go to a run club called Salt Social here on the Gold Coast. We start at Currumbin Beach, run down the beach path, and then meet up for coffee and sometimes a swim afterwards. It was so lovely. I did get completely humbled by the run today, but that's all right. It was nice to just like catch up with friends who I haven't seen over the holiday break and chat with some new people. So that was lovely. And now I've just driven to the gym. First gym session back in a couple of weeks, so I'm not expecting too much from myself. I am going to use my Runna app to guide this workout, but I also might mix in a few like physio exercises, plyos, mobility, chin-ups, because my goal last year was to get 10 chin-ups, and I think I got a max of 6. We're getting 10 this year. That is definitely my goal. Honestly, there is no reason for me to be able to do 10 chin-ups. I just think it would be a sick thing to be able to say I have done. So yes, I'm gonna head into the gym. I've got my AirPods here somewhere. My biggest gripe with the gym is when they play shit music. Like, I don't know why gyms do that. I feel like I should be the president of all gyms and we just do like a whole overhaul. First of all, no terrible music. Second of all, put the aircon on, please. I am sweating up a storm. Third of all, we need to do something about these like annoying men who just like take up too much space and like grunt. I don't know. Anyway, I've also just been having my electrolytes from Hyro. I put ice in this before the run this morning, and of course by the time I got to drink it, it was completely melted, but it's still nice. I'm trying to spend a little bit less money on like coffees and stuff after runs. So packing my own drinks is the way to go. Enough yapping, let's go into the gym. 50 minutes later, gym is done. I did 5 chin-ups. What? I was like convinced that I would have completely lost everything and that I'd be back to 0, but I did 5. That's a win. I'm taking that as a win. I did a leg session, lower body. I followed the Runna plan, which is pretty good. I feel like it hits such a wide range of leg muscles, whereas if I just do my own programming, I'll do a squat, I'll do a deadlift, and I'll call it a day. So that's a win. That is my training done for Tuesday. I now have work to do, and then I'm going to the movies tonight with Hamish. We're gonna go see The Housemaid, I think. So I'll catch you probably tomorrow for another run. Bye. I got some new shoes. I'm so excited to try these. I got the Mach 6. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but how pretty are they? I love this blue color. I've been wearing the same brand of shoes for like 2 years, so now I'm really excited to be trying out some different brands again. I used to wear Hoka's like quite a few years ago, and I remember loving them. Time to pick out an outfit. I'm feeling like I should wear some blue to match with the new shoes. I could do LSKD or Free People. I love this stripy, it's so cute. This one's just not quite as supportive. Maybe some white bottoms with the blue, is that kind of fun? Yeah, I feel like that's a fit. Let's go do some 1K repeats. I'm honestly nervous about these. Oh my god, guys. I actually died. It is so hot here on the Gold Coast. I went at 7 a.m. thinking like that's still early in the morning. Okay, let me break it down. So I had 5 by 1K and the aim was to be at a 4:05 pace. I should just get my watch. Wait, 1 second. Okay, got my watch here. This is a Garmin 735 XT. I've been using the same watch for like 8 years. Love it. I think it's got like just enough data so that I don't get overwhelmed. Anyway, let's review my session because I died. Okay, first one I did a 4:09. Next one I did a 4:06. I actually felt better on the second one because I felt like I'd kind of warmed up, which I do find happens to me sometimes in my sessions. Like the first rep, I'm still kind of getting the feel. The next rep, it was a 4:20. Honestly, I was just like trying to hold on to the pace, but by this point I was like, oh my god, it's so hot. I am dying and I can't believe I still have 2 more of these to go. There was just like no relief and I could feel my heart rate was like totally maxing out at this point. Number 4, I said to myself, okay, just do 1 more. And I was honestly like hanging on for dear life, but I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life, which is so dramatic, but like that's where my brain was going at this time. But I was like, just finish the 4th one and we can skip the 5th one and we'll go do a cool down. Like it's fine, just do this one, hang on. So instead of running a 4:05 like I was trying to, I ran a 4:36. I was dying. I literally sat in the gutter in the shade. There was pedestrians like going on walks with their dogs being like, oh my god, is she okay? And I was like, I'm fine. Literally dripping with sweat. My face was a red tomato. But I was like, okay, I've got those 4 done. But I really like my mindset this week. I think I said this a few days ago, like I want to go all in. Like I don't want to be skipping reps. And I was like, it's 7 a.m. I shouldn't be this hot, but I don't know, I'm not in charge of the weather. So then I decided for the 5th 1K repeat that I wasn't gonna try and even make a 4:05. I was like, I just need to run the distance. So I ran it as like my cool down pace. I was running at a 6:30 and my heart rate was still up like close to max. I was like, what the hell is going on? So then I just had a 2.5K cool down after that and I was like, I'm getting this distance done, I don't care. I like ran around the block so that I could be in a little bit more shade and that felt slightly better, but my heart rate was like so high and I just came home and was like, that was not great. I don't know, I was humbled. It was tough. I was right to be nervous, but like, I don't know. Let's take some lessons from this. Number 1, I need to go to bed earlier so that I can get up earlier so that I can beat the heat because I live on the Gold Coast now. I love it here, but it is very hot. So like I need to do my best to avoid the hottest part of the day, which honestly starts at 6:30 in the morning, so I need to be running at 5. Second thing I learned was maybe a hat could have helped. I did have my sunglasses on, but like there just was no shade, and I feel like it just was like so on my face and on my head and my body that I was just like, ugh. Third lesson, I think it would have been good if I'd taken a water bottle and even put some ice in it. I think that would have really helped because I was just like out in the heat and there was no relief and nothing to like get my body temperature down. So I think next time I go do speed work, I'm going to try to go somewhere shady, go earlier, take some water with me, wear a hat, wear my sunglasses. Like, these are all things I know to do, but for some reason I just kind of like bopped out on my run this morning in my cute little outfit and my new shoes and was like, yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, I did then go to the gym. I did my upper body session. So that's 2 gym sessions done for this week, which is amazing. Tomorrow we're going on a road trip, so it's going to be a little bit of a rest day. About to do my very first long run. I've got a 20k progressive long run. Honestly feeling a little bit stiff. We drove 7 hours yesterday and 7 hours the day before, but I don't know, I'm excited to just like get this first one ticked off. So I'm down at the beach. Let's go do our first long run. Breakfast time, and then this this is for later on today. Good morning, it's Sunday morning. Since we had those 2 days away on Thursday and Friday, I've combined my 2 easy runs, so I have 14 Ks to do today. Feeling a little bit sore after yesterday, like my glutes are super tight, but energy wise I feel good to be finishing off the first week of training. I'm doing my favorite route, which is like a little bit of trails and then a little bit down by the beach, and I'm gonna listen to a podcast. So that's kind of my favorite run of the week, is just like a long easy podcast run, and it's a Sunday, so I've got the rest of the day to kind of like chill, get myself ready for the week, and I might do some like reflections about how this first week of training has gone and what I might want to change for next week. Yeah, so beautiful along here, and I'm just gonna enjoy this run. Paddleboards / kayaks for Christmas, so we're gonna take those out, and I'm gonna take my little waterproof camera that I can just pop into the back of the kayak seat. Yay! To the end of week 1 of training for the Ballarat Marathon. I would say this week has been a success. I wanted to do a few reflections, things that went well, things that didn't work so well, or things that I want to change for next week. Timmy is taking a nap here, by the way. First thing that went really well, I got all of my distance done for this week. I think I ended up doing 63 kilometers, and I did my 2 gym sessions. So I'm really proud about that, because I also had 2 days away for a family family road trip. So I was really proud of how I adjusted my week and moved my runs around so that they could still fit in whilst also doing family and like social stuff. What else went really well? I think I'm quite proud of my mindset. Week 1 training doesn't always feel good. Like I didn't feel that strong or fit in all of my sessions. Like I definitely didn't hit my paces in my interval and my tempo run, but I was able to adjust and like just keep going. And I'm quite proud of that because I think there used to be a time when if I didn't hit my paces perfectly, I would have like crashed out or just like gotten really mad at myself. So I'm really proud of that. And I think that that kind of mental toughness is going to help when the runs and the distances like start to build later on in the block. So that's really good. I think things that didn't go so well was just dealing with the heat. Like that's definitely something I'm gonna have to get better at because it is not cooling down for a little while here on the Gold Coast. I've looked at the weather for next week and it's looking like there could be some rain coming through, which will pose its own challenges. But yeah, I think I need to definitely adjust my schedule of going to bed earlier so I can get up earlier and get my runs done before the heat, and like better preparing myself with water bottles and ice and all of those types of things. Even just wearing a hat on my run this morning was quite helpful, but I don't love doing that all the time, so yes, that's something to adjust. I think the other thing I would really like to try next week is incorporating a little bit more like core and just like a bit more strength or like Pilates. I feel like my glutes have been super tight towards the end of this week, and I think that maybe that's coming from like a lack of strength in my core, which is something I have kind of neglected over the last like month or two. So gonna be trying to figure out how I can fit those in to the schedule as well. The other thing I would like to change from this week was that I didn't get to do any swimming or cycling or just like other types of movement apart from going for a kayak this morning. So that's something I will try to fit in next week. But overall, really happy with this week. Very excited for this whole marathon block. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. I can't wait to bring you along for this whole block. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm posting on there all the time. I also have plans to bring back my Substack and do a bit more writing, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Love you. Bye.